Alright, next stop will be Buffalo. And of course the Niagara area, as it is one and the same. And before I forget, let's go ahead and rest. Because I think I forgot to do that in Empire State Building. Now if we head down, we'll find a gold tube car. And although we do not have a gold tube car pass, we have the master tube car pass. So let's jump inside. And of course we are whisked away to the beautiful Buffalo Niagara area. As we emerge, the danger-ometer overloads and blows itself to smithereens. I have a strange feeling that this place is kind of dangerous. To the west side of the road is a grassy area overlooking the river. Would you care to step inside? Well, of course. Nestled between the remains of the highway and the swiftly moving Niagara River is a shaded area filled with rusted barbecue grills and the rotted remains of picnic tables. This must have once been a rest stop for passing travelers. A 100-foot tall elm tree stands at the riverbank. You also see a vending machine here.
Shall I recite today's menu?
Your basic, highly automated, late-model food dispenser. Before the collapse, this machine would have been stocked full of delicacies to satiate the hungry traveler. The machine's neural network detects your interest. And of course, it implores us to browse its menu. So we have vegetable fondue, fish falafel, and a beef crepe, which is pretty interesting sounding. I think we'll take all of them. And you know what? I think I can actually sell stuff to this thing too. These food dispensers, I tell you what, they're pretty nifty. We have all these tube car passes. We don't need these things anymore. We have the master tube car pass. I would not like to sell that. Let's go ahead and keep it. We have a brown tube car pass. We have a green tube car pass, a purple one, a red one, of course. I can only remember how much trouble it was to obtain that stupid thing. A blue tube car pass, and a gray tube car pass. Well, there you go. Of course, they'll need a gold tube car pass to get to this vending machine, but they're all in there. Collect them all today. We also have an American elm tree. It appears to be an American elm tree, 100 feet tall, growing right at the edge of the bank. And we have a picnic table. The table and the benches are one unit, an interesting but seemingly impractical design. Can we sit at it? Well, since it is a rest station, you might as well take a rest. You signal the party to sit down around the picnic table, but when the rotting wood begins to collapse, everyone jumps hastily to their feet. Well, that was fun. Let's get out of here. And try to get something done. Try to stay in the Niagara just so we don't get jumped. You know, it sounds like a good idea. Let's get this place mapped out. Looks like there's all sorts of fun stuff. What do we have here? Nearby, a number of makeshift tents have been pitched along the edge of the river. The area is teeming with heavily armed and armored men. One of the men, seemingly standing guard, one of the men seems to be standing guard. Do you want to approach? Of course. You get the sentry's attention. After plying him with gifts from the party stores, such as wine, chocolate, and dry roasted cashews, the sentry explains that the glorious Tonawanda army has orders to recapture Grand Island from the infidel dogs of Chippewa. Once the warlord and his generals figure out how to get the army past the strong currents of the Niagara River, of course. I wonder if they can give us something if we help them. Probably. What else we got here? You have reached a split rail fence enclosing a farm. Next to the gate, a sign warns, no trespassing. Do you care to step inside? Well, of course. This is Ben's farm. You are on a pleasant little farm. Its bucolic expanse gives an old-fashioned atmosphere, in contrast with the small and scrubby subsistence farms that dot most of the villages of the Northeast region. Paths lead away from the farm to the west, east, and southeast. You see Farmer Ben here. Farmer Ben is wearing an elevator key. Well, you don't say. It's an ordinary-looking key, engraved with ESB, EXP, ELEV. So that'd be Empire State Building Express Elevator. That's exactly what we need. We'll be taking this.
Get your hands off my here key. I'll give it to you when I'm good and ready, you hear?
Well, okay. Unfortunately, none of the team members are actually fast enough to grab it. Also, I noticed we haven't eaten. Let's go ahead and eat. Mademoiselle, you gain 23 smarts from the fish falafel. And we'll go ahead and have Mop eat this. So he gets 10 brawn. And we'll go ahead and have Treaderman eat this. He's still not as healthy as Mop, but he's getting there. We could have him eat the bananas, I guess, too, but oh well. Let's talk to Farmer Ben. Let's actually look at him first. Farmer Ben's skin is weathered to a leathery gray by his endless days of toil under the UV-laden sunlight. He is stooped and gnarled from calcium deficiencies. His eyesight is poor from a lifetime without a dependable supply of vitamin supplements. Nonetheless, Farmer Ben is clearly a man at peace. Although he can still see much clearly enough to keep us from snagging that key. Okay, let's talk.
Nice day if it don't rain.
So Ben, what were you before you were a farmer?
I don't care much to talk about my past career. It had its ups and downs.
I see. Well, we'd love to have that key of yours.
This key's a real important keepsake to me. Of course, I'm always amenable to a trade.
I see. Well, how are the crops this year?
They be okay, God willing and the creek don't rise.
And who is Otis? I see that up there on your hat.
Otis ain't a person, you ninny. I got this here cap from my previous job.
I see. Well, we'll let you get back to work now. Say hi to the chickens for us.
Sure will.
So he says he'll trade his key. What's the sign say? Ben's Cucumber Farm. Well, let's see what we can do here. Let's also go over here. Yo, has this game got enough marketplaces? Here's another one. Whop on in? Well, of course. It could have goodies inside. This is the Chippewa Marketplace. This, the only marketplace in the game that rests on, well, what was once Canadian soil, is just like all the other bazaars you've been to, except that it's bilingual. The marketplace can be exited to the south, and you see shops of red, blue, and yellow. Let's go into the pawnbroker's tent. Of course, he doesn't speak English. He's a Canuck. He only speaks French. So he greets us in and shows us his wares. Of course, all of the wares are also in French, so we'll buy his isotopes. And his les legumes, which I assume are some sort of beans. So that's cool. We have a Sorrel isotope. Let's go ahead and have Mighty Magnitude. He learns how to rust things. We have a white isotope. We'll give that to Treaderman. And he gains the power of Beaverjaw at 100%. And we have a silver isotope, which I will drink. My senses reel and my muscles ripple as my mind and body contort with feelings of superpower mastery. Normality slowly returns, and I've added a new superpower to my repertoire. The power to confuse at 95%. Well, that's cool. We also have a veggie crepe. We'll go ahead and get that to Treaderman. There you go, Treader. And I don't think there's anything else from you we need.
Party of superheroes.
And of course you speak English. That's good. La Missile dos Mounties. Well, we'll go ahead and buy that, because why not? And we'll give that to Tropical Oil Man. Because he needs something like that, right? We also have all sorts of things to sell, I suppose. You'll keep that cat of nine tails and you'll like it. It's the only means of breaking hearts that we have. We'll go ahead and sell that junk. And we have $911. Kilo dollars, that is. Okay, well, I didn't see anything for Farmer Ben in there. Let's see, you have reached an area where the elevation changes abruptly. In a word, a cliff. Nearby, you hear the roar of cascading water. A nearby observation platform might afford a better view. Do you approach? Of course.
That looks useful.
The Niagara River here plunges in a breathtaking waterfall of impressive size. Oxide Man points out a barrel, a wooden barrel, near the base of the falls and said it would be useful. Unfortunately, there's no way to retrieve the barrel from beneath the spray. Well, that's a shame. Maybe we can take out two birds with one stone. I have an idea. Also, I've never used my superpower once in this game, so we're gonna go ahead and do it. Let's see. Here we go. Create organizational charts. I create several new organizational charts with lots of spiffy boxes and arrows and dotted lines. Everyone is very impressed, and you feel sure that the entire team will now work together more productively. Well, that's good. We have an elm tree, which is 100 feet tall. We have the Niagara River. At this point, the river is perhaps 1,000 feet across. Well, let's cut it down. And we'll cut it down with, a muffler.
Your basic American elm is one pretty tough tree, Tape. I don't think we'll get anywhere with this approach.
And of course, with a few bold strokes of the car muffler, I go after the tree. But apparently, I've worked myself into a frenzy, and the bark isn't even nicked. Well, shoot. Did we just get a new power that could be helpful? Beaver Jaw, Treader Man, snap into action.
Timber!
Someone in the party yells timber. I wonder who it could have been. Not Madam, of course. The tree falls into the river, extending maybe 1/10 of the way across the width of the river. 1/10, you say? Magnitude! You know what to do.
Is that what you wanted?
The body of the fallen tree swells and stretches. The top of the tree darts across the river, extending 1,000 feet to the distant shore, and completely damming the water's flow. The water backs up against the south side of the barrier. To the north of the makeshift dam, the water level begins dropping as the river drains over the distant falls. And yes, that is exactly what I wanted there, Magnitude. You did a good job. Well, now we should have no problem retrieving that barrel, right? Let's go ahead and check. The Niagara River here plunges in a breathtaking waterfall of impressive size. You arrive just in time to see the last trickle of water spill over the fall's edge. The Caped Cod climbs down and retrieves the wooden barrel from the base of the waterfall. After picking the remains of a daredevil off the rim, the Caped Cod pronounces it to be in excellent condition. And now the riverbed is completely dry. Let's go see if the armies have moved. Piles of trash, broken tent poles, and cold ash reveal this to have been an area recently to have been the site of an army encampment. Well, it looks like they've already moved on.
That must have been the elm tree going over the falls.
Phew. We got out of the riverbed just in time.
Just as the last of the party approaches the relative high ground of Grand Island, a veritable tsunami of water sweeps into the muddy river bottom, propelling a humongous elm tree that temporarily dammed the river. The river bed fills with water. As the river returns to its former depth, an incredible crunching noise reverberates from the northwest, which of course Mop points out is probably the elm tree. Here, in the open space of the former highway, the opposing armies of the Tonawanda and the Chippewa have come together for what each expects to be a grand and glorious victory, with capital G's. A Chippewa and a Tonawanda scout appear, respectively, from the west and the east, each bearing the news that the river has begun flowing again. The armies are trapped on the island. A worried murmur ripples throughout both armies. A handful of soldiers from each side nervously approach your party.
We now realize the futility of our endeavors.
If you help us get off this island, we will repent the error of our ways.
We offer to swim them one at a time, piggyback style, to evacuate the island, if they will renounce their warring ways. One by one, each of the soldiers beat their swords in the plowshares and their spears in the pruning forks, as the members of our party shuttle them off the island. With the last of the soldiers gone, the party is left with a plowshare and a pruning fork. Hook. Not a fork, a hook. And of course we find ourselves back at the farm. We might have some stuff we want now. We have a plowshare. This farming tool is for plowing fields. And we have a pruning hook. This is a farming tool for pruning trees. And we also have a barrel, which could be good for a cucumber farm such as this, right? The barrel looks perfect for the storage of agricultural products, like cucumbers. How about this?
That sure is a mighty fine plowshare, but I don't think it is enough for me to give up this here key.
I see. Well, how about this dandy pruning hook?
Getting there, getting there.
Well, all we have left is this barrel. I hope it's enough.
These fine tools will sure help me bring in the crop. I suppose it's only fair to give you this key.
He takes it from his chain around his neck and hands it over. So we now have the key. Nifty. And we'll go ahead and head out. Because we got everything we need. Now we can go see Entropy. No, we don't need to go in there. But before we leave, the dangerometer did explode. Let's see why it did. My goodness! Look at all those unrepeatable bugs. And of course, Robomop feels nothing because he has his mill marker. This is going to be a hell of a battle, folks. As everything encounters, my goodness, there are certainly worse groups you can run into on this. Like the ones composed entirely of ragweed, 3 or more. But this one is still pretty hairy. Let's see, how smart are you bugs? 67? Well, I can use my new superpower. The power to confuse. I love that noise. And of course, I deal 7,260 damage to the unrepeatable bug. It is thoroughly and completely confused. Go ahead and give you some animals to sleep. There you go, good work. And let's see. What do I want you to do? Can you finish it off? Nope, it's too tough. You can... Do I really want to... Yeah, you can go ahead and take it out. Might as well. Make this go a little faster. And you can go ahead and kill this. Good job. And a little heart disease for a bug won't hurt it, but it'll help. Might be better to use your missile launcher. We'll do that next time. 47 damage. Holy crud. Mop almost felt something with that one. Unrepeatable bug. Let's keep going after the bugs. They're really the main problem. All mine's not really that bad. Let's see, I'll confuse another one. 4,258 damage of confusion damage. Oh, you dropped the ball. Okay. I want to see if Tropical Oil Man can finish that one off. You go ahead and launch this. There we go. And you can launch your, Mountie Missile. The Mountie Missile, trademark, hits it and makes it die. I'm not sure what the Mountie Missile entails. Maybe it fires mooses. Maybe it's full of mooses. Or mises, as they're mostly known as. Go ahead and take out that. Oh, God. Confuse? There you go. Good old confusion. Works every time. At least if they're smart enough. Go ahead and shoot it. You might as well kill the all mine now. I wanted you to kill it, not look at it funny. There you go. Well, launch a missile at it. The missile works, and the all mine is no more. For this glorious victory, all party members receive 104,700 experience points.
Treader Man passes the coveted 1 million experience point mark. Mademoiselle Pepperoni passes the coveted 1 million experience point mark. Oxide Man passes the coveted 1 million experience point mark. Captain Excitement passes the coveted 1 million experience point mark. Tropical Oil Man passes the coveted 1 million experience point mark.
So now everyone, except for the Cape Cod and the Mighty Magnitude, have their mill markers. So there you go.
Tube station entrance around here somewhere?
You might be right there, Treader Man. Let's dive in. And we'll take our tube car back. And we could rest. I mean, Mop did get a little beaten up. He'll tough through it. He's pretty tough. Fairly tough. Alright, let's head to the Empire State Building so we can get this game put to bed. And we'll go ahead and save, right here, I think is a good place. Let's go ahead and save the game. There you go. And we'll head into the elevator. Whoops, it's already here. We don't need to push that again. Just enter the elevator. The party, 9 strong, with all of its paraphernalia, squeezes in to what would be otherwise a comfortably large elevator. You use Ben's key and activate the controls. 2 buttons labeled Lobby and 102. You press the latter. The elevator doors close, and with a sudden jerk, the elevator starts upward. Your ears buzz. They don't bud. Your ears buzz, and your eardrums begin to feel as though they're about to burst. It's hard to believe that millions of people used to subject themselves to this experience on a regular basis. Surprisingly, a few moments later, the doors open, and the party staggers out. The observation deck. You are on the 102nd story, just beneath the famous radio antenna where King Kong clung as he met his demise. Windows ring the room, offering a view of the time-ravaged, semi-submerged city. An elevator lies open to the south. As you enter, Dr. Entropy looks up from his machine, which resembles a giant movie projector. He smiles evilly as the metal bands snap the entire party into a row of cinema-type seats.
Glad to see you. What's a movie without an audience? Of course, my projector is a projector with a difference. Instead of merely projecting images, it can turn those images into reality.
He pauses in order to give the party time to absorb the dreadful possibilities this presents.
What shall I use for my initial test? Jurassic Park? The Blob? The Gidget Goes Hawaiian? Of course! Considering our locale, only one choice is fitting.
He opens the film can labeled King Kong. In the name of all things decent, stop, I cry, but the film is already running. Suddenly, an enormous eye in one of the windows appears, surrounded by an even more enormous face, surrounded by a truly enormous ape. A hairy hand smashes through the window and grabs Entropy. And there it is. Oh my gosh. It's so lifelike. He screams as Kong drags him out in the midair, 100 floors above the debris-strewn pavement. The falling glass cuts the metal bands, releasing the party conveniently. Kong sniffs the air, sensing that there may be bananas present. There are. Well, what do you know? Well, we have the projector. Can we just break it?
Why not just turn it off?
Mademoiselle offers that we just turn it off. Can we unplug it?
Why not just turn it off?
You know, it's nice that they have every portion voice acted for this. I could even do it again.
Why not just turn it off?
We could hear everyone, but why not? We'll just turn it off.
We'd better not try that again.
Yeah! Did you see how Kong went bananas?
As you approach the projector, Kong's instincts warn him of the impending danger. With the slightest gesture, he flings me, the crimson tape, clear of the projector, and sends me reeling across the observation deck. Bananas, you say? Well, let's give the bananas to Kong. Kong's eyes can't even focus on something that small, although he can grab Dr. Entropy. Let's go ahead and have the Mighty Magnitude work his magic. The Mighty Magnitude touches the bunch of bananas. They expand to 300 pounds and topple out of our inventory onto the floor of the room. The Kongs feels certain that there are bananas around here somewhere, and he begins waving his head back and forth, growling and swiping his huge arms about the observation deck, trying to find those said bananas. Well, clearly they're not large enough, right? He's not thoroughly distracted. Do it again, Magnitude. Magnitude does his thing again. The mountain of bananas swells to 3,000 pounds. The huge ape is really getting excited now. He starts pounding his chest and roaring. Entropy, swinging in Kong's grasp, does not look as amused. That's clearly not enough. They must be 30,000 pounds of bananas. The bananas explode back to their original size, or so Magnitude assures you. They just look bigger now, Tape. They're just in the enclosed base. By this time, I've learned just to take his word for it. With 30,000 pounds of bananas lying around, well, let's just say the observation deck is getting to be a really slippery place. King Kong goes ape, so to speak, finally spots the bananas, which are now 30,000 pounds, of course. He couldn't see them when they were only 3. He reaches in to grab them, and finally devouring them, 100 bunches at a time. He should peel them first, says Tropical Oil Man. He'll get a tummy ache. He's not the Iron Tummy. He is completely distracted by the bananas. Completely distracted, you say? Well, how convenient. Just as Kong scoops up the last of the bananas, you take advantage of his distraction to flip off the projector. As the lights flicker and die, Kong becomes more and more ethereal, until he completely disappears. And Entropy falls. Entropy, no longer supported, plunges 1,400 feet to the street below. Moments later, 15 tons of bananas land atop him, resulting in an explosion that atomizes his body, spraying his molecules across the tri-state area. The members of the party boost you onto their shoulders and carry you off for a well-deserved retirement. All members of the party gain 4,900 experience points for a mission well completed. The end. Watch for more adventures of a superhero League of Hoboken in Entropy's Revenge. So apparently he's not dead again, although I don't think Entropy's Revenge is a thing. I'll have to check it out. You have amassed 1,111,650 experience points, which gives you the rank of Superhero First Class Decorated Emeritus. Under your leadership, the Superhero League of Hoboken has achieved the status of Level 8 League, which is the highest it can be. You have prevailed in 181 of 181 combats, dispatching 982 opponents. You have completed all of your current missions. And we are at the top of the ranking. And this has been the Superhero League of Hoboken. I hope you enjoyed. This game was a challenge for me to record and to perform. As you've noticed, this voice, as annoying or entertaining as you find it, is actually a real pain in the larynx. And this game has so much reading aloud, well, it really challenged me. As you know very well, reading aloud, not exactly my forte, but I have been able to improve quite a bit over the whole duration of this series. I'm sorry that it took so long to complete, folks, but you'll have to understand that this game was very trying for me, as much as I did enjoy it in the end. The game has several flaws, mostly being that a lot of its solutions aren't exactly intuitive. For instance, the red 2-car pass, my favorite piece of equipment, which you had to find for a random battle, which wouldn't occur unless you went back to base after initially starting at base. And of course, there's the Andy Android. That's not exactly too intuitive, unless you already have the phonograph cone. In case, if you do, then you're fine. But if you don't, well, I just hope you're a hoarder in the future, because it'll make everything easier, of course. So I hope you enjoyed, folks, and I'll see you in the next action-packed, crime-fighting edition of a Let's Play!